And the phrase boom or bust is often bandied around during playoff season, but for these two former Premier League giants, it is perhaps even more appropriate. Sunderland fans have had to endure back-to-back relegations after ex-owner Ellis Short pulled the plug on his spending. There are rumours Short's successor Stuart Donald is already looking to sell his shares. Surely a place in the second tier would only add to their value. For Portsmouth, times have been even harder since they broke the bank to win the FA Cup 11 years ago. 2 administrations and 3 relegations later, and thanks to the backing of the former chairman of Walt Disney, Michael Eisner, the South Coast side are out to prove their bid for a return to the Championship is more than just a Mickey Mouse dream. Well, the 2 sets of players have just emerged from the tunnel. Down below us, the stands are not full to capacity, but as you can hear, those that have made the trip are certainly making themselves heard. There are 2 giant Sunderland Till I Die banners that have just been unfurled behind the goal to our right-hand side. Neil Redfern is alongside me. This feels like a proper game, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I mean, what's at stake and the pressure, or if you like, the expectation on such a big club as Sunderland. Portsmouth, they're in a different scenario. You know, they've done superbly well this season. Kenny Jackett's definitely sorted them out, and they look at an organised, a well-capable group of players that could go and play at the next level. There's no 2 ways about it. So it's going to be a real interesting time.
Well, the playoffs always guarantee drama. We've had some before. A ball has even been kicked tonight. Aidan McGeady, who was due to return from a foot problem for Sunderland, injured in the warm-up, so Lyndon Gooch comes in. They are, though, boosted by comebacks for Lee Cattermole and George Honeyman, their young captain. McLaughlin is the goalkeeper. O'Nien, Flanagan, Ozturk and Oviedo in defence. Cattermole and Power holding midfield. Honeyman, Morgan and Gooch behind Charlie Wyke, who's preferred to their big money January signing Will Grigg up front. Injury problems for Pompey too. Lee Brown and the club captain Brett Pittman haven't travelled. They could be fit for the second leg. No guarantees of that. McGilvery is the goalkeeper. Thompson, Burgess, Clark and Walks in defence. Naylor and Close in front of them. Lowe, Evans and Curtis behind Ollie Hawkins up front. How much, Neil, will that late withdrawal of McGeady have affected Sunderland, not just in terms of the way that they're going to line up from a tactical perspective, but in terms of morale for his teammate as well, because he's so integral, isn't he, to their success?
You're right, it's a good point, Alex, to be honest with you. I mean, I look back in my career and I think back to times when, you know, I've played for sides that have done well, and there's certain players that play in your team, and when they're fit and available, you just feel better. You know, you feel better about your opportunities and your chances to go and get a result. So obviously this is going to be a bit of a blow for Sunderland, but you know, it's such an experienced guys like Lee Cattermole to rally his troops. Obviously Jack Ross will be looking to calm his troops down and refocus them and reset their mind. But in Lyndon and Gooch, they've got a more than capable and able replacement.
Well, the 2 sets of players just swapping ends of the field. Portsmouth defending the goal away to our left-hand side, where their vast ranks of supporters are gathered high in the gods here at the Stadium of Light. Pompey in the blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Sunderland in the red and white stripes, black shorts and red socks, shooting from right to left in this first half, when 85,000 Sunderland and Pompey fans descended on Wembley for the Checkatrade Trophy in March. Many believed it would be a dress rehearsal for the playoff final. Optimism among both sets of supporters has ebbed away slightly after the 2 teams seemingly ran out of steam at the end of the regular season. Which one, though, can get their mojo back to take a crucial first leg advantage on what promises to be a tension-packed evening here at the Stadium of Light? We are off and underway. Both managers, Jack Ross and Kenny Jackett, who's never lost a playoff semi-final, camped on the edge of their respective technical areas, and plenty of volume from the 2 sets of loyal supporters, both of whom have been put through the mill in recent seasons for the reasons to which I've already alluded. Here's Ollie Hawkins, who put Sunderland through the mill with that winning penalty in the Checkatrade Trophy final. This is the 4th meeting between the 2 clubs this season. Sunderland yet to come out on top. They have the ball in their left back position, and it will be cleared upfield by Oviedo, the experienced Costa Rican, almost joined West Bromwich Albion in January, but that move collapsed in the final hours of the transfer window. He has hinted in his homeland this week that he will depart this summer. What about this for an atmosphere, Neil Redfern? Not full, but they are whipping up a storm, those Sunderland fans behind the goal to our right-hand side.
Yeah, they're definitely showing the passion for the club, the supporters, and it's a fantastic view. But just looking at the start from both sides, it's obvious that nobody really wants to take a chance early on. Both sides been quite cautious, trying to turn one another around, trying to get the ball where they put the opposition on the back foot. But it seems to be Portsmouth who are in the ascendancy as such at the moment. Yeah,
Pompey have a throw, level with the Sunderland penalty area, taken by Thompson. Here is Jamal Lowe, scored that wonderful goal at Wembley in extra time, chipping the Sunderland goalkeeper. Thompson has just been dispossessed on the corner of the penalty area, and Sunderland here with Honeyman maybe have the chance to launch a counter-attack. It's played out to the right-hand side where Lyndon Gooch will take over, stopped in his tracks by the blonde-haired Walks, and Pompey now trying to wrestle possession back inside their own half, which they do so successfully, and it's lofted forward by Matt Clark, who's been such a colossus at the heart of this Portsmouth defence throughout the season. Has many suitors, Matt Clark, and I think it would be unlikely if Pompey don't go up there he will stay at Fratton Park next season. Here's Close trying to pick out Hawkins on the edge of the penalty area. Good piece of defending by Ali Ozturk, the Turk. And then it's launched forward by John McLaughlin, and the Sunderland goal away to our right. 3 minutes gone, 0-0 the score on what's been a fantastic day already of playoff action across the Talksport network. The Championship semi-finals off and underway. Victories for Aston Villa over West Bromwich Albion, and Leeds at Derby, who will gain the upper hand in this first leg. Here in the northeast, it's Sunderland coming forward with Honeyman, plays it out to the left-hand side. And a chance for Morgan maybe to get the ball into the penalty area, and Burgess under pressure from Honeyman has to usher it behind for the first corner of the evening as a great roar goes up around the Stadium of Light. Sunderland have scored plenty of goals from set pieces across the season. And they have an early opportunity to add to that tally in front of those Pompey fans away to our left-hand side. The corner will be a right-footed outswinger, and it's headed across goal by Catamol. And Ozturk at the far post couldn't quite get on the end of it, but first dangerous moment from the home side.
Yeah, that's a great delivery, to be fair. It's whipped in at such a height where it's difficult for the defenders to get anything on it, and it's just touched on. I think it's delivered by Lewis Morgan. It's touched on at the near post, and I think it's Flanagan coming in at the back stick who just stretching out misses it. But it's been a good start from both sides. You can see any flurry of pressure or high tempo pressing from Sunderland is met with approval by the supporters as a real roar goes up when they have a flurry of good aggressive tackling, and it's what they're looking for, the Sunderland supporters tonight, be on the front foot.
And revenge is a word that Dan Windle, our presenter, used during the build-up. Lee Catamol will particularly have that on his mind. It was his penalty saved by McGilvery that settled the Checkatrade Trophy final as Jamal Lowe tries to get a shot away, blocked, and then Close on the rebound sees his effort charged down on the edge of the penalty area, and it's a goal kick now for Sunderland. Last touch was off Gareth Evans. Really open first 6 minutes, Neil.
Yeah, it is. And it's a fantastic ball in, to be fair. It creates half a chance for Gareth Evans, and he's unlucky as he swivels on the turn. It's well blocked. Good defending by Sunderland. Prepared to get the bodies on the line and get the blocks in. That's what's going to be needed tonight if either side are going to get an advantage in this time.
Portsmouth have lost just one of their 9 matches away from Fratton Park. In fact, they picked up more victories on the road than any team in League One across the course of the regular season. Only Manchester City in the top 4 leagues accumulated more points on their travels. That will give Kenny Jackett and his players belief they can go back to Fratton Park with a lead. And here is Jamal Lowe trying to put pressure on Oviedo. Just shoved him in the back, and it will be a free kick here for Sunderland down by the corner flag. He's a real box of tricks, Jamal Lowe. Only 2 years ago he was playing in the National League South, working as a PE teacher. Tonight he makes his 100th appearance for Portsmouth. Quite the rise. Yeah, he's definitely got his hands full, Brian Oviedo, tonight. He's I think in the opening exchanges he's definitely proved that he's more than capable of going past his opponent, but some good duels all over the pitch today. All of the players have been drawn across to this right-hand side of the field as McLaughlin takes the free kick. One back on halfway by Naylor for Portsmouth, and he's looking to release Hawkins here. Up against Ozturk, and that was a good challenge by the central defender to turn the ball behind for Pompey's first corner of the night.
It was a great challenge, and it was a real necessity as well, because he showed a decent turn of pace there, Ollie Hawkins. Made up 2 or 3 yards on Ozturk, but the big centre-half got across and managed to get the final touch. But they're not frightened, Portsmouth. They're not coming here to just sit back and soak up the pressure. They're definitely on the front foot, and they're going at Sunderland.
Gareth Evans comes across to take the corner as those Pompey chimes ring out from the away end. The kick is going to have to be retaken. There was a coming together in the area just before Evans whipped in that ball. Curtis was the Portsmouth player who went down. Referee Andy Woolmer is just coming across to have a word with Curtis Oviedo, his marker. Watching the replay, 6 to 1, half dozen to the other really. It was Max Power who was the Sunderland player who took a tumble. Referee seems to have restored order, and the corner will be taken now by Evans on this right hand side. Plenty of jostling for position inside the penalty area. That should be a routine catch by McLaughlin, and is. That was disappointing from a Portsmouth perspective. And McLaughlin, a League 2 playoff winner with Bradford City, places the ball down just on the edge of the 18-yard box and will launch this long upfield. We've played 9 minutes. It remains Sunderland 0, Portsmouth 0. The first leg of this League 1 playoff semi-final here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. And McLaughlin's done well actually to pick out Morgan on this left-hand side. Morgan plays the ball towards the penalty area, swept clear by Burgess in the bright orange boots, then headed into touch by Ozturk. Pompey have a throw 15 yards inside the Sunderland half.
I tell you what, it's really open this game, Alex. I mean, we've only played 10-15 minutes and they're going at it hammer and tongs and not holding back at all either side. You think there might be a little bit of caution in there to try and keep the score intact, but none of it, both sides going for it.
Walks has played it out to Lowe down the left-hand side. His cross into the area cleared away by Tom Flanagan, the summer signing from Burton Albion. Pompey have won it back with Walks high up the field. Here's Close, who goes back towards the halfway line. Hit the ball well here, Pompey, in the early exchanges. 10 gone, 0-0 at the Stadium of Light. Second leg, of course, at Fratton Park on Thursday. Promises to be another fantastic occasion between arguably the 2 biggest clubs in the division. Here is Walks now into Naylor, plays it forward towards the penalty area, but scooped away by Catamol, and Clark, under pressure by Charlie White, has to play it back to McGilvery, the goalkeeper, the hero of that Wembley win. And somebody you know well, Neil Redfern, from your time at Leeds United.
Yeah, he was a youngster at Leeds. You know, he was on trial initially, and he left and went to play for Harrogate Town, but he definitely got potential. I think that in the greater scheme of things, it would have been wise for us to maybe take a chance with him, but we had a lot of decent keepers at the club at the time. But he's gone on and he's made a good career out of it. He's obviously a more than accomplished performer.
Here comes Curtis down the right-hand side for Pompey towards the penalty area. Good ball in as well, looking for Hawkins, and it was cut from the sky in the end by McLaughlin. For a moment it looked like a dangerous delivery, but McLaughlin bowls it out to the right-hand side. I think Pompey have looked a bit more composed on the ball so far.
Yeah, I think so. And I think what they've done is they've got this front foot mentality where they're looking to play forward at every opportunity. And I think it's up to Sunderland to try and get a little bit closer in midfield. Just looking at Catamol and Max Power, they've just sat off their opposition midfield players, Naylor and Close, and they're giving them room to play, and it's a dangerous precedent.
Here is Naylor on the halfway line, forward to Curtis. Naylor has continued his run, he's been found by Curtis, chance to get across, and he slipped as he went to do so. And Lee Catamol clears it away for Sunderland from just inside his own 18-yard box. Here is Morgan now, the Celtic loanee, plays it against Walks and out for a throw. Jack Ross, who led St Mirren into the Championship in Scotland last season, bidding to become the first Sunderland manager since Roy Keane to win a promotion of any kind. That was way back in 2007 when they were promoted, the Black Cats, to the Premier League. Walks composed enough. Ross in his all-black suit. Kenny Jackett to his right in his Portsmouth raincoat. We have had some rain here on Wearside this afternoon, but the match kicked off under bright blue skies overhead. Pompey in the blue shirts have a throw, which Nathan Thompson will take. 10 yards inside the Sunderland half, and then it's knocked upfield by Close, but Hawkins couldn't keep it in play. Ben Close has been really important for the visitors in the second half of the season. They had Ben Thompson on loan from Millwall up until January. His departure back to the Den really coincided with the alarming slump in form which saw Portsmouth go from 5 points clear at the top of the table on New Year's Day to falling out of the automatic promotion picture altogether. Ben Close, Portsmouth born, has gone some way to filling that not inconsiderable void.
What has impressed me about Portsmouth in these early exchanges is they've done really well in full-back positions, because they've got two dangerous characters in Lyndon Gooch and Morgan, but not had much change out of the full-back so far.
Power in the orange boots, plays it down the right-hand side. Clark felt a shove in the back there from O'Nien, but the referee awards a throw for Sunderland rather than the free kick that Clark was appealing for. And it's a rare chance for Sunderland to put some pressure on the Portsmouth penalty area. The throw in no more than 5 yards shy of the corner flag. O'Nien flicks it up. And here is Catamol now in some space in the centre of the Portsmouth half. Plays it out to the right hand side, and Powell once again. In comes the cross, but only one Sunderland player in the form of Wyke inside that penalty area, and it's cleared by Pompey to the halfway line. Here is Power again, just inside the Portsmouth half of the field.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit more like it from Max Power and Catamol, starting to get a grip in midfield and exchange the passes and start to dominate possession, and I think that's going to be key.
Just one win in the last 7 matches, Sunderland, coming into this game. They had that extraordinary match here a few weeks ago. They lost 5-4 to Coventry.
Yeah.
Not sure we're going to get a 9-goal thriller tonight. First legs of playoff semi-finals are often tight and tense, but this game has had a reasonably open feel to it. And Pompey have a free kick 2 yards inside the Sunderland half. 0-0 the score here on Talksport 2. 15 minutes have elapsed, and it will be Christian Burgess, the former Peterborough defender, who will take the free kick. Just looking at the way that half a dozen blue shirts are camped 10 yards outside the penalty, I think they're going to go direct here. Burgess lost the ball into the box. He's chested down by Clark towards Hawkins, and in the end the ball bounced off the outstretched right leg of Ollie Hawkins and tamely behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think that Kenny Jackett will be the more pleased of the two managers with the start. I think that they look a confident bunch. Portsmouth have taken the game to Sunderland. They're not frightened of them. The changes that they've had to make in full-back positions have not put them in any disadvantage. They've coped well with the wide players, and they're comfortable in possession. They look a good side.
Lowe making hay down the left-hand side, and he's been sent tumbling to the ground. It's going to be a free kick here.
A little bit of frustration in that tackle from Morgan. Tracking back there. Just caught him off the ball.
And Gooch and Honeyman protesting the innocence on behalf of their teammate, but the free kick has been awarded. Jamal Lowe has stayed down, which will be of concern for Kenny Jackett. And the Portsmouth physio has been summoned, so there will be a minor delay here. Lowe holding his right ankle. You are listening to Sunderland against Portsmouth on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022.
I'll tell you what, that's the last thing you want as a physio, that a sprint that far across the pitch. It's nearly as bad as these 150 steps that we've got to walk up to get to.
Yeah, we're certainly a long way up from the press room to the press area and the back of the main stand here at the Stadium of Light. Don't think we'll be popping down for a half-time cup of tea, that's for sure.
Give it a miss, I think.
There is a half marathon taking place in Sunderland tomorrow. That's why this game was moved from what would have been a 12:30 kick-off to 7:30 this evening. Looking at Neil Redfern as he tried to catch his breath, I think he's already run a half marathon by completing those 150 steps.
Yeah, it's a fantastic stadium. It's such a great stadium. But I think the media press gantry is probably the furthest one in Britain, I'll have to say.
I think a lift could do with being installed. That's another disappointing free kick. Gareth Evans straight into the arms of McLaughlin, and McLaughlin has played it upfield and found Morgan in space inside the Portsmouth half. Out to the right hand side he goes. And here is Power now. Sunderland building up ahead of steam here. They've got plenty of red and white shirts to aim at in the centre. Walks is trying to stop the cross coming in from Morgan. In the end it's Power who delivers right-footed, charge down, and it should be headed away now by Ronan Curtis, the Republic of Ireland international. And a chance for Portsmouth to counter. Evans has gobbled up plenty of ground on this right-hand side. Only Hawkins to aim at in the centre, and he's been dispossessed by Tom Flanagan.
Great defending by Flanagan, stood up well. So it was definitely a breakaway opportunity for Portsmouth, but the big centre-half got across, stood up well, bided his time and won his tackle.
Portsmouth have won only 9 of 52 visits to the Stadium of Light, but they have had the sign over the Black Cats in recent times. 9 matches without a win in this fixture for the home side, as Matt Clark tries to switch it out to Curtis with a looping ball in the air. Curtis heads it towards the penalty area, but will be collected by McLaughlin, the only Sunderland player to have played each of their 46 league games. And McLaughlin just taking his time here, letting his outfield players get into position before he's finally going to play the ball right-footed into the Portsmouth half. A little push in the back there on Naylor, so it will be a free kick, which Burgess wants to take quickly.
Yeah, that's a cheap free kick, Alex, because it just takes the pressure off Portsmouth. It's a decent ball into Charlie White, but it's a silly foul. But, like I say, it just gives Portsmouth an opportunity just to calm down, get themselves back up the pitch and put a long angle ball in towards Hawkins.
And Hawkins flicks it on, looking for Curtis. Oviedo juggles the ball on his left foot and clears it up towards Morgan, who helps it onto the halfway line. Given away by Power, and this is close now for Portsmouth, just on the edge of the centre circle. Curtis has made a run, but Hawkins steps in and holds up possession neatly, then close, looking to release, walks down the right hand side, overhit his pass, and it will be a throw in for Sunderland. We played 20 minutes and it remains 0-0 here on Talksport 2. Reminder, we will have all of the drama of the last day of the Premier League season on Talksport tomorrow, and a special season-ending match day live. Will it be Manchester City who go to Brighton, or Liverpool at home to Wolves, who are crowned champions? Promises to be an intriguing afternoon in the company of Adrian Durham.
Just looking at another silly free kick given away by Charlie White. You just got to be careful there, because they're under pressure at the back, Portsmouth. All he's got to be is just a presence up there, and if they win the header, and it's not a great defensive header, the midfield can get on the next ball, but keep giving free kicks away, it just takes the pressure off Portsmouth.
For those of you just joining us, a couple of injury-enforced changes for Pompey. Lee Brown and Brett Pittman unable to travel. Anton Walks and Gareth Evans filling their positions, and for Sunderland, Aidan McGeady was due to start tonight, injured in the warm-up. So Lyndon Gooch coming in. I've got to say, the absentees haven't knocked Portsmouth off their stride so far. They've only used 27 players across the course of the season. That's fewer than any other League One club. Consistency has been the key for Kenny Jackett.
I think he looks really comfortable there at left back, Anton Walks. He's been confronted a couple of times now.
Here's Honeyman though, in some space on the edge of the penalty area, slides the ball into the feet of Morgan. He showed too much of it to Thompson, and it's cleared up to Hawkins inside the centre circle. There's another needless free kick they've given away. Ozturt, the offender, Hawkins had already miscontrolled the pass into his feet, and he was clipped from behind by Ozturk.
Yeah, it's just petulance, isn't it, really? Because it just breaks up the rhythm, Sunderland. You know, I think they might have got on that poor touch of Hawkins and gone to launch an attack, but it's just silly fouls. It's just breaking up the play for Sunderland when they don't need that.
Pretty much reached the midway point of the first half. No goals so far. Clear-cut chances at a premium. Christian Burgess again will take the free kick inside the centre circle. It's just inside the Portsmouth half, away to our left. Again, Matt Clark has gone forward. And it's in towards Clark on the edge of the penalty area. Good flick on. Curtis was in an offside position. It's cleared away anyway. But it will be a free kick for Sunderland. It's been a handful, Matt Clark, when he's gone up to attack these set pieces.
Yeah, he has. He's a good target for him. And obviously Burgess is looking for that. Just floats that ball in and uses his physical presence. And they're not really dealing with it, both Flanagan and Ozturk. But I've seen Sunderland play out from the back a little bit more than what they're doing. It's almost like they don't want to take too much of a risk early on in this game. You can perhaps see that when the score's intact. It's over two legs, and you want an opportunity to try and get yourselves in front, but what you don't want to do is give Portsmouth a leg up.
Cross comes Clark again to stifle Gooch on the far right hand side. He won 13 Player of the Year awards, presented with them on the pitch before that last day draw against Accrington Stanley. I spoke to him afterwards. I said, where are you going to keep all those? He had a massive box just full of silver. He said, actually my mum has just bought me a trophy cabinet. Will he be adding a playoff winners medal to that haul, you wonder, as Ronan Curtis drills in a shot from the edge of the area, which was never going to trouble McLaughlin.
That's what mums are for, mate. Trophy cabinets.
Absolutely. He's a real talent though, Clark, and I know there are a number of championship scouts who've been watching him with interest this season. You do wonder.
Well, the one thing that really has impressed me in these opening exchanges is just how he reads the game. He never gets himself where he's at a disadvantage in a foot race, and that's the hallmark of a good defender, to be fair.
Because he doesn't look like a player who is particularly blessed with pace, but he just gets himself in the right positions at the right time, as you say.
Yeah, he's almost making himself the favourite all the time. But he does it really well, because he's edging in front of Charlie White to try and look like he's going to pinch the ball, and then he'll just drop in, and it's good defensive play.
Here's Lowe for Portsmouth, out to Walks, who's made the overlapping run. Heavy touch allows Oviedo to come across and win it back for Sunderland. Now Catamol, 10 yards outside the penalty area, rolls it across the right hand side, and O'Nien making his 50th appearance in a Sunderland shirt, the former Wycombe Wanderers man. It's played a good ball out to right, and Gooch into the penalty areas. The noise levels increase, but Burgess steps across and dispossesses Honeyman. That was good defending from Christian Burgess, and he clears the ball up the halfway line. And this time, as you can hear from the ironic cheers, Ollie Hawkins is penalised for a foul on Ozturk, and it will be a Sunderland free kick. I think it's fair to say, Neil, the home fans don't feel they're getting the benefit of the decision so far.
No, they definitely let him know that as well. A little bit fussy there, the referee.
In comes the cross. Oh, it's a lovely ball in, and it's headed over the crossbar by Wyke from 7 yards out. That's the first big chance of the game, and it goes the way of Sunderland. Maybe he should have hit the target.
Yeah, it's a great ball in, and it's almost as if he's not expecting it, Charlie White, because it curls away from the keeper right onto his forehead. He's slightly reaching and behind it a little bit, but he's got to try and arch his back and get an header on target there, because that's a fantastic ball in. It's the first real opportunity of the game.
It's a big call, isn't it, from Jack Ross? Wyke or Grigg in the starting lineup. Neither have been particularly among the goals, but Will Grigg has proven over the course of his career, not just for club but for Northern Ireland as well, he can be a man for the big occasion.
Well, that's right. I mean, I think what you perhaps lose with Grigg, what you get with Wyke, is that you can go into him a little bit more and it'll be a little bit safer in possession, but I just think with Will Grigg you've definitely got a goal scoring option.
Oh, Power has run into trouble on the halfway line, the form of Curtis into Hawkins. He's all alone inside the penalty area. Oh, did he get a nudge in the back there, Hawkins? He goes down, keeps possession, and then Curtis with a cross straight into the arms of McLaughlin. I just wonder though, was there a nudge from Oviedo on Ollie Hawkins? We'll watch a replay of that in a moment.
Yeah, it seems like he'd gone looking for it a little bit, Alex. I don't know. I mean, it was a good position. It's a great ball down the side of the box for him.
Oh, that's a neat bit of control from Wyke. Just what Neil was alluding to, as the ball was driven in at pace. He brought it down the chest on the edge of the penalty area, and here's Catamol for Sunderland 15 yards inside the Portsmouth half. We played 27 minutes here on Talksport 2, and it remains goalless. A chance for Power to drill in a shot from distance, which is blocked by Naylor.
Stand by. You are listening to Unknown.
Here he is again, O'Nien. Just looking a bit more confident now, Sunderland, when they are in possession, after a nervy opening to the game. Flanagan, with those long legs, carries the ball deep into the Portsmouth half. Here is Oviedo now, the former Evertonian. Overcooked the pass to Morgan, but it's only cleared as far as Power. And then Gooch goes down looking for a free kick, but nothing doing, according to the referee, who, to his credit, is trying to let the game flow as much as possible. Pompey go long into Hawkins, but McLaughlin comes out and deals with the danger, and Sunderland have it again on the halfway line with Power. Here is Catamol.
Just trying to get a foothold in the game now, Sunderland.
Catamol almost playing as a third central defender at the moment.
It actually suits him when he drops in there, because it allows the centre-backs to step in with the ball. There's a good example of that there when Flanagan stepped in and carried it maybe 30-40 yards to go and play, and it caused Portsmouth a problem, but they stood up well. They've kept the shape really well, Portsmouth, and they're making it difficult for Sunderland. That will be in Kenny Jackett's upmost thoughts, I would have thought, before the game as well. You know, the longer you can keep the crowd quiet and take the sting out of the occasion, then they'll think they've got a better opportunity, Portsmouth.
0-0 would certainly be a better outcome from the first leg for Portsmouth and their hosts. History is already against Sunderland. Only 3 of the last 16 finalists have progressed after playing the second leg of their semi-final away from home, as of course the Black Cats will have to do on Thursday. Here they come on the attack. The ball arrowed out to this left-hand side. Morgan hurdles the challenge and then crosses deep towards the far post, but too deep as it turns out. The ball is into the stand, and it will be a goal kick for Portsmouth.
Yeah, that was a real waste, because he sat Nathan Thompson on his backside there. It's a great first touch, to be fair, by Morgan. The full-back dived in and he skipped past him brilliantly, and he'd walked the length of the pitch or up to the penalty area to go and attack. He could have almost gone in at an angle and got right in the box and started picking people out, but chose to cross. It was a poor decision as it sailed over the bar for a goal kick, but a little bit better from Sunderland. Starting to have a little bit more play now, a little bit more feel for it.
Referee's just called Ronan Curtis across, the Portsmouth winger, because I think there was a foul on O'Nien in the build-up to that last Sunderland attack. Good advantage played by Andy Woolmer, taking charge of a playoff match for the first time in his career. Here is Walks down the left for Portsmouth. Jamal Lowe gives it back to Walks by the left corner flag. He had Gooch for company though, and can't get the ball out from under his feet, the former Tottenham player Walks, and it will be a throw-in, and Walks then petulantly threw the ball against O'Nien, the right back. Luckily for him, the referee didn't spot it, and it will be a throw-in now that O'Nien will take.
So I think where the game's been broken up now and been a little bit bitty and scrappy, I think this will suit Portsmouth. You know, they don't want Sunderland to get ahead of steam up and get the crowd up, and they need to try and get the ball out and start playing the football, Sunderland, and moving Portsmouth about.
Here's Lowe trying to move Sunderland about, up against Catamol, turns neatly away from the veteran midfielder, and here he is, Lowe, out to the right-hand side, and Thompson, who's well forward. Chance for Close to go on the attack, but there's a good slide challenge by Honeyman, and then Naylor has to put the ball out of play right in front of his manager Kenny Jackett, and it will be a Sunderland throw-in.
One of the main striking features of this Portsmouth side is they work so hard. You see them tracking back and covering for one another and getting tight, and the lines are really tight between the back four and the midfield. They make it difficult for the opposition. They're really well organised.
And as a result, you can understand why, when I spoke to Kenny Jackett before the game, he said that his team have looked a bit leggy in recent weeks. This is their 61st game of the season.
Wow.
I've already mentioned the few number of players they've used in the previous 60, and of course reached the final of the Checkatrade Trophy. They had a good FA Cup run as well, taken to a replay by Queen's Park Rangers, knocked out Norwich en route to that match. But the energy levels have been good tonight. They've got a free kick to defend now, 20 yards inside their own half, and it will be Morgan who curls it in right-footed. It wasn't the worst ball actually, in between the Portsmouth defence and their goalkeeper, but Sunderland forwards not quite on their toes, and it bounces harmlessly away for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think the initial confusion put the attacking line off there. It was almost like they was going to play a short free kick and try and work the ball down the sides of Portsmouth, and then it was returned and whipped back in, and the line was coming back out, but didn't work in Sunderland's favour. Just drifted harmlessly for the goal kick. I think both keepers will be happy that they've not had that much to do so far.
The header over from Charlie Wyke, as close as either side have come to finding the net so far. We played 32 minutes in this first half. Low forward to Evans in the right wing position. Evans with a cross aimed in towards Curtis. O'Nien did just enough to stop Curtis reaching the centre, and it will be a throw in now for Portsmouth over on the left touchline that Anton Walks takes quickly into Ben Close, back out to Walks. Portsmouth trying to pick their way through a congested half of the field. It's been given away by Curtis. Catamol surges into the centre circle, and now it's played forward towards Morgan, who is unable to keep the ball in play. It's out for a goal kick after Honeyman had overcooked the pass.
Yeah, he's just got to give him it there. I mean, he's in acres of space, to be fair. Morgan, all he needs is a ball played to his feet so he can get a good first touch and get at his full-back, but that's really overhit. Maybe a little bit of nerves, you don't know. It's a great break initially by Catamol to get Sunderland in that position. Starting to come into the game a little bit more, the experienced midfield player.
Gilvery with a long punt upfield, flicked on by Curtis, but cleared away by O'Nien. And now it's collected inside the centre circle by the American Gooch. A late addition to the starting lineup after an injury to McGeady. Clark comes across, but for once is not as composed as he would like, and can only run the ball out of play for a Sunderland throw over on the right touchline.
Yeah, again, it was a good example of him reading the play though, Alex. He understands his role really well, he's comfortable, knew that ball was coming in the channel and was already on his way across to cut it out.
Sunderland have taken that throw and like to play out to his left-hand side. Oviedo with the chance to cross into the box, blocked by Lowe. He's back helping out in defence, and it will be a Sunderland throw now, almost in line with the penalty spot, away to our left-hand side. The vociferous atmosphere has just quelled somewhat. Lots of anxiety, as there always are for these semi-finals. And what we've seen so far, both in League Two and in the Championship, not much between the sides. As the cross comes in towards Wyke again, and it was Anton Walks defending after Clark had missed a header.
Well, we just saw the quality of Oviedo there, coming inside on his right foot from left back, just swings that ball in towards Craig McGilvery. And to be fair, he's inches away from that Charlie Wyke from getting a little touch.
Oviedo with a throw. Sunderland looking the more likely at the moment. Oviedo with a cross into the box once more over the head of Wyke, only half-headed down, and O'Nien, I think in two minds whether to hit the shot first time. He kicked in the air in the end, wins it back to O'Nien. In comes the cross from the Wyke once again, and there is Wyke on the volley over the crossbar. He is starting to prove a real handful though, the Sunderland striker.
Yeah, again another great ball in from the right hand side, and I think to give Charlie Wyke the benefit of the doubt, it's a difficult ball to try and keep down. It's sort of going behind him, but he swivels his body and tries to get over it. But he just clears the crossbar. But he's starting to get one or two glimpses of goal now, Charlie Wyke.
5 goals to his name over the course of the season, signed from Bradford City in the summer. He is one of the Sunderland players who's been talking openly about them wanting to avenge that Checkatrade Trophy final. And if Sunderland are going to get the breakthrough at the moment, it looks like he will be the man to do it. Here is McGilvery, all in green, plays it long upfield, the Portsmouth goalkeeper. Hawkins with a flick on, good run from Evans from midfield. And here is Evans in possession on the right hand side. He's got Lowe in close proximity, keeps the ball, Evans under pressure from a trio of Sunderland players. Catamol, one of them, snapping away at Evans' heels. Pompey have still got it though with Lowe, and Walks has made a good run if Lowe can find him, and he does find him, but to foul by Walks on Morgan, and it will be a free kick for Sunderland.
Yeah, they've definitely got a dynamic down this right hand side, Portsmouth. Look at Thompson and Lowe, got a real strong base of pace and dynamic strength, and they link in well with one another. When you look at the fullback comes and looks to overlap, and it gives Jamal Lowe a chance to get at the opposition's fullback, gets him good service, it's definitely a good source of goal scoring opportunities down this right hand side.
Boxman with a free kick for Sunderland, headed away by Burgess. Those Portsmouth centre-backs getting plenty of aerial practice. The flag is up anyway for an offside, so it will be a free kick. I was with Nathan Thompson down at the Portsmouth training ground on Thursday. It was a really emotional interview, actually. He was part of the Swindon side that reached the playoffs back in 2015. They were bidding for promotion to the Championship. They had an incredible game. You may remember it. They drew 5-5 with Sheffield United en route to the final. They played Preston, but it was all over for Thompson after only 6 minutes. His hamstring snapped. So his recollection of that afternoon is of him crying in the changing room as Swindon went on to lose the game.
Yeah, that's an absolute nightmare for any player. You know, you just want to play and be fit to play, but because it's one of the pitfalls of playing professional football. There's a chance you're going to get injured at times.
He did say that Wembley win over Sunderland earlier in the season exercised some of those ghosts, but would love to win promotion via the playoffs to completely banish the memories. Here's Oviedo for Sunderland. We've got less than 8 minutes now until half-time. Nothing between the two teams so far. No real surprise after they played out a 1-1 draw here as recently as April the 27th. Pompey did win the reverse fixture at Fratton Park, but Glenn Leuven sent off for Sunderland before half-time in that fixture. And of course, the Wembley match-up ended in a 2-2 draw after extra time and was decided by McGilvery's penalty save from Catamol.
I think, to be fair as well, if you look at most playoff games, these first games are usually cagey affairs first half.
They're not normally 5-5, are they?
No. And I think that both sides have set the stalls out really well, and they've sort of cancelled one another out. But I think if you're looking for an advantage, I think Portsmouth will probably be the happier of the two, because obviously they're the away side, although Sunderland have probably fashioned the best two chances.
Here's Walks linking up with Close down the right hand side. That's been the area where Portsmouth have had most joy in these opening 39 minutes. It's won back by Honeyman, the youngest player to captain Sunderland since around Mickey Gray, the academy product.
Yeah, he's a key player for them, Honeyman. And at this moment in time, he's just sort of flitting in and around that 10 slot. I'd like to see him break past Wyke up front. There's no real runners from midfield, and that's one of his jobs, as that number 10 role. Is to get up and beyond the front at times. He's looking to get on the ball between the lines. I think sometimes you've just got to clear that. And you look at Charlie White going to challenge now. He needs runners to go beyond him as well.
It was Ozturk with a punt forward, but Burgess did well in the air up against White this time, and it's hoisted away by Naylor. Portsmouth with this game plan very much to try and hit Sunderland on the counter-attack, soak up pressure, and then use the pace of Curtis and Lowe and the guile of Hawkins to try and get some joy. It's a far in for Sunderland, which Oviedo takes on this left-hand side. Midway inside the Portsmouth half. Neat turn from Honeyman away from Burgess. Here's Catamol now. O'Nien in space to his right. The pass with the outside of the foot was far too heavy. And O'Nien ends up running into the advertising hoardings as he tries in vain to keep it in play. It will be a throw-in for Portsmouth. A bit sloppy from Catamol.
Yeah, that's a couple of times now they play the ball out, Sunderland, when it's a little simple pass to keep them in possession. And again, you might be thinking about, the nerves of the occasion, but we're well into this time now. You think the nerves will have disappeared, but it's a real close game.
You are listening to Sunderland against Portsmouth on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. It's Portsmouth with Lowe in possession on the halfway line, got away from Catamol and got a little tug on the shirt, so it will be a free kick. A chance again for Clark to go forward and join the attack with 4 minutes to go until half time. I don't think there'll be too much in the way of additional time, just that one injury delay when Jamal Lowe was down for treatment early on for Portsmouth. And here is Burgess to take the free kick once more. It's a diagonal ball to the left corner of the penalty area, and it's a foul by Hawkins. Bit of a wrestling match going on the edge of the Sunderland box, and the free kick I think is the correct decision. It was Hawkins against Wyke.
Yeah, he's all over him. I think that he's definitely a handful, Hawkins. You can see that, and he's a galloper rather than a sprinter. But I think he's more mobile than his appearance gives him credit, and his touch has been good for a big man. He's brought Portsmouth into play really well, and I think Jamal Lowe on this side, if we get the ball out to him, then he's a problem for Oviedo.
Promises to be a significant end to the season for the whole Hawkins family, because Ollie's dad is manager of Chertsey. They've made the final of the FA Vase in non-league. Hawkins hoping for his own Wembley final. Of course, the winner of this tie will take on either Charlton or Doncaster, who play tomorrow. You can hear that game live on Talksport 2. Of course, the Talksport network is the only place where you can hear every game from the EFL playoffs. And this one has 3 minutes of the first half remaining. It remains Pompey 0, Sunderland 0.
See, perfect example there, Alex. It's a good jump by Charlie White. Gets a little touch on. There's nobody gambling on, and they were quite square at the back there, Portsmouth. And you're looking at Honeyman from midfield. He's got to get up and beyond there. He's got to get round Charlie White a lot more.
Sunderland have a free kick here, 12 yards or so inside their own half. Ozturk is over it, and he plays it out to the right hand side, and O'Nien. Tempo has just dropped off a bit as we edge closer to half time. Long ball forward from Sunderland in towards White, headed away by Burgess. Oviedo looks to keep the Black Cats on the attack. Here he is again, Oviedo. Well, he could have maybe thought about a shot from distance there, tried an intricate back heel instead to Wyke, and Pompey reclaimed possession. A bit too clever from Oviedo. And Sunderland have it now with Ozturk inside their own half.
I think he's definitely got the quality though from left back. He's shown one or two nice touches, Oviedo. Got himself in some good positions. His ball from back to front's been quite good.
He's another player who should be plying his trade much higher. He's played at a World Cup finals.
Absolutely.
For Costa Rica.
Yeah, you feel like he's comfortable playing at this level, and should be pushing himself a little bit more, you think, because he's definitely got the quality. He's shown that already in glimpses.
Here is O'Nien for Sunderland. Urged forward by the home fans, makes his way over halfway towards that Portsmouth penalty area. Honeyman takes over, and then it's going to be played out to his left hand side, and Lewis Morgan trying to take on Nathan Thompson. Cross bounces off Thompson and out for a throw. Just about 60 seconds of the first half remaining. Can Sunderland gain an advantage before the interval? Oviedo level with the penalty area, into Morgan. Morgan does well to find Gooch on the edge of that box, and his shot, right footed, is straight down the throat of McGilvery. Well, comfortable enough for the Portsmouth goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think we've seen there what Gooch is about, to be fair. It's a good take, just in between the lines, gets half a yard. It's a fantastic strike, but it's a bread and butter save for McGilvery, but he takes it in well because there's a lot of moisture on the surface and it just skidded off a little bit. Good safe hands from the big keeper.
Lots of Sunderland supporters making their way onto the concourses to get their half-time refreshments. McLaughlin once again goes long with a kick out from his own penalty area. Catamol beats Evans in the air on the halfway line. And here is Ozturk, just one added minute at the end of this first half. 0-0 the score in this League One playoff semi-final, first leg at the Stadium of Light. And ball knocked out to this left-hand side, looking for Morgan. Thompson cleared it away temporarily, run back by Morgan, but runs out of pitch on this near touchline, and it will be a throw-in now for Portsmouth, and that will be just about that in terms of the first half, Neil Redfern.
Yeah, I just can't help but think, Alex, that the injury to Ed McGeady is definitely playing a part in this, playing a part in Portsmouth keeping a clean sheet, because both wide players have had enough of the ball, both Gooch and Morgan, to do a little bit more with it. You can't help but think that McGeady might have fashioned one or two more chances.
And he scored a couple of goals, didn't he, in that 2-2 draw at Wembley. He's a real pest for the Pompey defence. Was due to play today. Aidan McGeady injured in the warm-up, and there is the half-time whistle. While Sunderland have scored in each of their last 15 meetings with Portsmouth, But at the moment, they have been unable to extend that run. They have had the better chances. Charlie White with a header over from 7 yards, as close as either side have come to breaking the deadlock. It's been cagey, it's been tense, it's been intriguing in the first half here at the Stadium of Light. But at the interval, it is Sunderland 0, Portsmouth 0. Well, the playoffs have given us some wonderful moments down the years. They will also evoke painful memories for fans of both Sunderland and Portsmouth. We all remember Sunderland's incredible 4-4 draw with Charlton in the Championship final back in 1998. Mickey Gray, whose missed penalty cost the Black Cats dear, won't particularly want to recall that one. Pompey competing in the playoffs for the third time. They haven't won a match yet. They were beaten by Leicester over 2 legs as they were trying to earn a place in the Premier League back in 1993, and they lost out to Plymouth as they were going for promotion from League 2 as recently as 2015. We are back off and underway. The two sets of players hoping for more positive memories of this latest affair. 0-0 the score. No changes in personnel. Sunderland with McLaughlin in goal, O'Nien, Flanagan, Ozturk and Oviedo in defence, Catamol and Power holding midfield, Honeyman, Morgan and Gooch behind Charlie White, who had that good opportunity with a header over in the first half. For Pompey, McGilvery the goalkeeper, Thompson, Burgess, Clark and Walks, then come Naylor and Close, Lowe, Evans and Curtis behind Ollie Hawkins up front. We've played just about 40 seconds in this second half, and Sunderland have the ball inside their own half of the field. Forward towards Honeyman. It was a good interception by Evans on the slide, and here's Curtis, who was on the periphery really in the first half. He's got the cross in towards Hawkins, cleared as far as Close, and then Close has passed it inadvertently straight to Power. And this is where I think Neil Redfern, the Sunderland fans, would hope to see a bit more urgency from their side.
Yeah, they work the ball into the wide area again, and it's out to Morgan on this side, but he's not doing enough to go past the fullback. And to be fair to Thompson, he's stood up and done a good defensive work on his man, and becoming really difficult for Sunderland in wide areas now. It'll be interesting to see how long Sunderland go in this shape, or whether Jack Ross throws a dice and brings Will Grigg on and maybe goes 4-4-2, because at this moment in time they're not getting the use of Honeyman as the 10.
I'm speaking to one or two of the journalists who've made the long 350-mile trek up from the south coast at half-time, and they were basically saying that Sunderland have been underwhelming really, with the onus very much on them as the home side. They just haven't put enough pressure so far on Portsmouth, who've been pretty comfortable.
They have, yeah. I mean, what you can say about Kenny Jackett's side is that they're really, really organised, and they're so workmanlike. I mean, they work so hard for one another. They balance and cover, and they get tight. They go after the ball when they get an opportunity. But you're looking at Sunderland, you're expecting a little bit more craft. And I know that onus falls quite heavily on Aidan McGeady. He provides quite a lot of that game craft, and obviously he's missing through injury. But you're looking for such as Lyndon Gooch to step up to the mark. Young Lewis Morgan need to do a little bit more. George Honeyman, he looks a little bit like isolated up there. Charlie White.
Sunderland did score in all 23 of their home games in League One this season. They have Charlie White down injured, just caught an elbow in the face unintentionally from Naylor, and he's down receiving treatment inside the centre circle. Quite a few Sunderland fans are only now taking their seats for this second half. Stuart Donald watching on from the director's box. He moved to clarify those rumours circulating overnight that he was looking to sell up. Says he's simply looking for fresh investors. Donald, who ploughed a lot of his personal fortune into Eastleigh as chairman of the National League side, replaced Ellis Short as Sunderland owner prior to the season getting underway.
I think, to be fair to him as well, Alex, is that you can expect that. I mean, it's such a big club, such a big old football club to turn round, and obviously there's a lot of debt around the football club. I mean, it's a difficult one to just put it all on one man, and I think, to be fair to Sunderland, they have turned it round, but he's obviously going to need a little bit of help.
Interestingly, the Portsmouth owners, the Eisner family, Michael Eisner, the former boss of Walt Disney, haven't travelled for this game. I understand they do plan to be in attendance if Portsmouth reach the final. Breck Eisner, one of the directors and the son of Michael, was actually watching the game against Peterborough a couple of weeks ago in the company of Will Ferrell, the Hollywood actor. So they've adopted him now as a Portsmouth supporter. You're not missing any action, by the way, because of that head injury sustained by Charlie White. He had a big delay at the start of this second half.
Yeah, just had a little kick out there at Burgess White. The referee, Cattermole, just having a word with the referee there. Just needs to be careful here, Charlie White, getting a little bit frustrated with things.
And it's a free kick for Portsmouth following that show of petulance, which will be taken once again by Christian Burgess with his hair in a ponytail. Plays it towards the Sunderland penalty area. Cleared by Ozturk. And then Honeyman, the academy product, has won himself a free kick over on the far touchline. It was clumsy by Nathan Thompson because he wasn't really going anywhere, Honeyman. You are listening to Sunderland against Portsmouth on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Really subdued atmosphere near the start of this second half.
Yeah, just a good example there. They've really thrown a blanket over that midfield, Portsmouth, making it so difficult. And George Honeyman just running up a blind alley earlier on and really nowhere to go. But the crowd just starting to show the frustration a little bit.
Yeah, they certainly are. Here comes Sunderland trying to pick their way forward, attacking that goal in the red and white shirts away to our right hand side. O'Nien well forward from right back, trying to dance away from Anton Walsh, who comes across and makes a good challenge, and the ball ricochets out off O'Nien, and it will be a throw in now for Portsmouth. Kenny Jackett, as he was throughout the first half, stands with his arms behind his back inside the technical area. Jack Ross, who has also been on his feet for most of the game, is just now coming out to his technical area. And here is White for Sunderland. Foul on Naylor, just on the left corner of the 18-yard box, so a free kick for Portsmouth.
Yeah, and again, you've got to give Portsmouth credit for getting around the ball, Alex. They're making it so difficult for Sunderland to just get around the ball and just do enough to make it not easy for Sunderland to play that combination passing game in and around the box. And it breaks down again. Free kick towards Portsmouth.
Yeah, McGilvery takes it, plays it into the Sunderland half. Then there was a shove from Ronan Curtis on O'Nien. Free kick for Sunderland. It's been a very scrappy start, very bitty opening 7 minutes since the resumption. Again, that will suit Portsmouth more than their hosts. Curtis here side foots the ball into the feet of Evans inside the centre circle. He spotted the runner Jamal Lowe in between Oviedo and Ozturk. The idea was right, the execution not quite there. Had it have been, Sunderland would have been in trouble.
Yeah, and Tom Flanagan read that really well. He got across just to do enough, and he's done that a couple of times now for Sunderland.
And in comes across from the Sunderland left hand side, cleared by Clark, who's been faultless so far in the way he set about his task at the heart of that Pompey defence. Here's Cattermole for Sunderland. They have dominated possession in these first 8 minutes of the second half, but so far McGilvery has been a spectator. That could change here as the cross is played in from Gooch against Nathan Thompson, and behind for the first corner of the second period.
You have to say that's great full-back play again from Nathan Thompson. Both him and Walks have been outstanding in full-back positions. Say he's a right-back, Walks playing at left-back. You wouldn't think so.
Lewis Morgan to take the corner. Those Sunderland fans behind the goal will try and suck this one in. It's towards the near post. Cattermole attacked it well. Shot charged down there, screaming for handball. I think it was Flanagan who got the shot away. Here comes the cross from Morgan again. Flanagan up with a header, and it's nodded clear by Walks, and he's done well actually, Walks, as he's kept the ball in play on this left touchline and will look to set Pompey away on the counter. Intercepted by Honeyman on the halfway line as the Sunderland fans raise the temperature once again. A real pressure cooker at the Stadium of Light when they're on their feet, despite the raft of empty red seats. You can almost pick out the way the lads emblem, the writing in white seats over on the left-hand side. That's how sparsely populated it is. Nowhere near the 41,000 that watched these two in the league as recently as the end of April. It was the effort from Flanagan, 26,610, Neil Redfern has just told me, is the official attendance. Here's the shout for handball. It may well have struck the arm of Naylor in the Champions League. That probably will have been a penalty under the rule that if you make your body bigger, you will be penalised.
Yeah, it would have definitely got VAR, put it that way.
Pompey have a free kick meanwhile. Jamal lowers down on his haunches just inside the Sunderland half.
He's impressed me, Jamal Lowe. Something about him, I think he's definitely a player that can go past people. Just getting him on the ball in the right areas.
Gareth Evans, who's disappointing from set pieces, has been poor so far. Takes the free kick. Burgess is up well. Hawkins heads it across the 6-yard box, and it's well dealt with in the end by Oviedo under pressure from Lowe. Put back in towards the Sunderland box. Jamal Lowe looking for Hawkins, but it's going to carry all the way through to McLaughlin, who casually collects the ball first with his feet and then into his white gloves. And McLaughlin places it down just on the edge of the penalty area.
See, I'm really surprised that they're just getting themselves up the pitch, Sunderland, and it's down to McLaughlin to go back to front to Wyke, and they're not getting anything going at all. They need to try and split out from the back and get on the ball and play a little bit more, Sunderland.
That lack of urgency that we've talked about, isn't it? Yeah. You would expect the home side in a playoff semi-final to play at a much higher tempo, but...
Well, it's almost like they don't want to make a mistake, you know, but they're at home. You've got to take chances at times, you know, you've got to be brave enough to take chances, particularly at home. You know, if you're positive and you're front foot, then you've got a chance of getting a grasp and getting in front in the tie, but at this moment in time they're just too safe, Sunderland.
Yeah, certainly a very cautious approach from the home side. Jack Ross in his programme notes said he wasn't expecting there to be any hangover from Sunderland missing out on automatic promotion, but certainly there seems to have been one so far. Lee Cattermole in his captain's column saying we can't afford to be anxious or nervous, but there has been an anxiety around the Stadium of Light, no question about that. Sunderland going to make the first change. Chris Maguire, who had a loan spell at Portsmouth, is coming on.
Well, he knows the way out of this division. He's been promoted with Rotherham out of this division. He's a player that can change a game. He's definitely got a little bit of something different.
Yeah, Lewis Morgan makes way. I did pick up one or two boos there when Morgan's number was held aloft, and there were some voices of discontent as the players went off for half-time as well. But Maguire is on, the summer signing from Bury.
Looks like Honeyman's come out here on the right hand side. Maguire's gone in behind the front.
Pompey on the attack, close. Rolls the ball out to Curtis on the left-hand side. Curtis out to Walks, who gets the cross into the penalty area, but held by McLaughlin, the goalkeeper. Been a bit disappointed with Ronan Curtis tonight. He was an unknown quantity really when Pompey snapped him up from Derry City over in Ireland in the summer. He started this season like an absolute bullet train. Earned himself a Republic of Ireland call-up. Hasn't been the same player since the turn of the year. He had a really nasty injury actually, which almost forced him to miss the checker tray finally. Chopped off the top of his finger on a door at his home and it blew shut in the wind. Here is Sunderland looking to blow the Pompey house down. It's a great save by McGilvery. Honeyman with a header from 4 yards out, turned over the crossbar. How big a moment could that be over the course of the tie?
Yeah, that's the most impressive attack of the game, I have to say. It's a great ball in to find Honeyman, and to be fair, the little fella does well because he gets his head around it and stays it on target. What a fantastic reaction save from McGilvery.
Almost hits him in the face. In comes the corner. Cattermole rises, cleared away by Thompson for Portsmouth, and this is where they can counter maybe. Hawkins with a little cushion header into Evans, and a really good challenge coming in, not for the first time tonight, from Tom Flanagan. But that's what these Sunderland fans want, Neil Redfern, a bit of urgency from their team.
Yeah, and a little bit of passion. We've seen there Flanagan chasing back and sliding in and winning the tackle, and the appreciation it got from the supporters. You know, it's playoff games are not games for the faint-hearted. You've got to grasp the game, and you've got to take the game by the scruff of the neck. And I think if Sunderland do start showing that, then they'll get this crowd behind them.
They've got a free kick, Sunderland, 4 yards inside their own half. We played 15 minutes in the second half. 0-0 the score here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. And it's Ozturk who goes long, cleared by Burgess. Jamal Lowe tries to flick it over the head of Oviedo. Oviedo read what he was attempting and clears the ball into touch for a Pompey throw.
Yeah, just looking at Portsmouth there, Alex, they haven't started the second half as well as they started the first half. Maybe have to give someone a little bit of credit here that they've come out on the front foot a little bit more. But it's almost like they've lost a little bit of energy and they look a little bit safer in the shape. They've dropped back in and a little bit deeper.
It's been the story of their season to a certain extent. They've had times where they've been absolutely superb for the first half of matches and then not really got going in the second, or it's worked vice versa on occasion as well. I mean, certainly during their recent run, 8 wins in their last 11 matches, they had to come from behind on many of those occasions. And you do feel the first goal here could be absolutely crucial, not just tonight, but who goes through to the final to play either Charlton or Doncaster. Those two meet tomorrow in the first leg of their semi-final. You can hear it live here on Talksport 2. We have every semi-final and all 3 finals at the end of May exclusively on the Talksport network. 0-0 the score here on Weir's side as darkness begins to fall.
No sign of any substitutes warming up for Portsmouth. Kenny Jackett seems happy with what's happening at this moment in time, and I suppose at 0-0, it's the perfect away performances such as having that platform to go and win it in the home leg, but just starting to come onto the game now a little bit more, Sunderland.
Just a bit of an off-the-ball incident there involving Ronan Curtis and the Sunderland substitute Maguire. A bit of a square up after Maguire felt Curtis left his foot in on a challenge. Sunderland with a cross towards the far post. Brilliant header away by Clark, and he's been volleyed in. It is a stupendous strike, and it's Chris Maguire against his old club. Like the blue touch paper, Sunderland are off and running in this semi-final, and what a hit on the volley from Maguire. 1-0 they lead.
Well, this is all about technique. It's a fantastic substitution from Jack Ross, and as this ball drops down to Chris Maguire, it's almost like the time slows down. He takes his time, keeps his composure, wraps his foot round it and strikes it sweet as a nut across Craig McGovern into the far corner. It's a beautiful strike of the ball.
16 yards out, the ball hanging in the air. He had plenty of time, Maguire, to work out what he was going to do, and he thumped it beyond McGilvery and into the right hand corner. That's got the Sunderland fans up and on their feet. 62 minutes into this first leg of the semi-final. It is Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0, and as they've done time and again in recent weeks, Pompey are going to have to come from behind.
Yeah, they've not started this nearly half as well, to be fair, Alex. And now that Sunderland have got the crowd behind them, it's going to be a difficult one to try and claw back here at the Stadium of Light.
Evans with a shot though from 22 yards out, straight into the arms of McLaughlin. They have shown their bounce back ability over the course of the season. They were 1-0 down in that Checkatrade Trophy final at Wembley, went on to win on penalties, so Sunderland will know this tie is far from over. They wouldn't want to concede again though, Portsmouth. Here is Honeyman, dispossessed by Naylor, high up the field. Naylor looking to release Curtis, overhit the pass, and across comes Ozturk to get Sunderland back in possession.
Well, he's made a difference straight away, not only for the goal, Maguire, but also his ability to get on the ball and make things happen.
And he's released Honeyman to go further forward as well. That's made a difference, as you indicated it perhaps would. In comes the cross from O'Neill, and it's hanging towards the far post over the head of Wyke. Pompey having to soak up a lot of pressure here in the second half. have looked a bit laboured since the interval. And here's Maguire, he's going to shoot from miles out this time. Well, adrenaline certainly pumping through his veins. This one was nearer the corner flag than the back of the net, but why not?
He just dragged it a little bit, but as that ball was going across and away from the goal, he just looked at Burgess there and he was just going to stick a leg out to see that deflecting into the goal, but just pulled it away at the last minute. Need to gather themselves here a little bit, Portsmouth, because this game's starting to go away from them a bit.
I do wonder if Kenny Jackett perhaps will be contemplating some changes just to freshen it up a bit, certainly in the attacking position. Hawkins lays it out to the right hand side of Evans. Hawkins was fouled and it will be a free kick for Portsmouth, 15 yards inside the Sunderland half. A rip-roaring atmosphere now in the Stadium of Light, reminiscent of that famous Roker Roar when Sunderland played at their former home Roker Park. Sure you'd have played there on many an occasion.
Yeah, I have, yeah. I mean, it's a fantastic thing to witness the Roker Roar. Fair Sunderland have definitely got the supporters behind them tonight.
Here comes Evans with a free kick. Clark has come forward from the back towards Hawkins, who goes down inside the penalty area, but it's the Pompey striker who's penalised for a foul, and it will be a free kick for Sunderland. 21 minutes gone in the second half. You're listening to Talksport 2, Sunderland 1, Pompey 0.
I just looked at the referee there, Mr. Woolmer, and the ideal refereeing displays that you don't even know that a referee's there. And, you know, not that he's done anything wrong tonight, but he does like to get involved, Mr. Woolmer. There's 2 or 3 decisions that he's given which, in the keeping, there's not nasty challenges. I think he could have let go and just in the spirit of the game let it go on, but definitely likes the sound of his own whistle.
Burgess with a header away for Portsmouth. Backs to the wall at the moment for the team from the South Coast. The team who finished 4th in the regular season. But it's Sunderland who certainly have the grip between their teeth at the moment. Here is O'Nien, forward from the back. Honeyman looking for the return ball. O'Nien into the penalty area. Oh, brilliant challenge from Clark. Dispossessing Gooch. It was timed to perfection. And then Clark finds Hawkins on the halfway line. Hawkins turning away from trouble, and Clark's continued his run. He's like Franz Beckenbauer in a Portsmouth shirt. And then there was a foul on Evans, and that will be a card for Ozturk, claiming he got the ball, and it's a red card for Alim Ozturk. Well, what drama at the Stadium of Light. It was a superb counter-attack from Portsmouth, led by Clark, who made the tackle at one end and then suddenly found himself on the edge of the box at the other. He rolled it out to the left-hand side. Evans was bearing down the box, and the referee has decided that Ozturk, with a challenge, has prevented a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Neil Redfern.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, Alex. It looks like the touch just took him away from goal. I have to say it again. Just coming up now. It seems like the touch just took him away from goal from Evans. He's definitely committed to the challenge, Ozturk, and he definitely catches him. I think he gets a little bit of the ball. Yeah, he gets a little bit of the ball, but he definitely brings a man down. But the ball is definitely going away from the goal. I'm not sure that is a red card. A yellow at worst.
He's not the quickest either, Gareth Evans.
No.
Ozturk has taken an age to get off the pitch here. He is absolutely candescent with rage. And coming on, 2 Portsmouth changes. Omar Bogle and Viv Solomon-Otibor are being called upon by Kenny Jackett. And that decision from Andy Warmer has changed the whole dynamic of the tie. Ollie Hawkins is one of the players who will be replaced, so that's a straight swap for Bogle. And Ronan Curtis makes way for Solomon-Otibor, so no change in system from Kenny Jackett, despite the fact that Sunderland are going to play out the final 22 minutes here with 10 men. Neil Redfern.
Yeah, well, I think that Kenny Jackett maybe thinks it is an opportunity. You know, I think that the fact that Sunderland have gone down to 10 men, thinks that maybe can they get a little bit more attacking prowess up there.
What about Matt Clark in the build-up to that attack?
Oh, brilliant. Just the interception, the reading of the game. I mean, he's been absolutely outstanding all the game, I have to say. His reading of the game, first class.
Sunderland are also making a change, and this is a response from Jack Ross to the dismissal of Ozturk. Jimmy Dunn is coming on, the Burnley loanee. Ireland under-21 international Dunn. And it's O'Nien who is replaced. So Sunderland down to 10 men. They lead 1-0. And what an incident-packed opening 24 minutes has been to this second half.
Yeah, big decision by the referee, I have to say, because
I thought he was going for it. Was one of those that, well, I said he's going to produce a card here. There was just a thought in the back of my mind it might be a red, but we'll tend to agree with you. I think Evans was going away from goal.
Yeah, I think to be fair, he got there first, Evans, and I think he got a little bit on it, Ozturk, but the touch definitely took it away from goal. But the decision's been made now, and they're going to have to defend now with the line, Sunderland.
And Evans with a chance from the free kick to inflict further punishment on Ozturk and Sunderland. It's no more than a yard outside the area. Naylor is forming a one-man shield in between him and the Sunderland wall. Might be a little too close to get it up and over the wall. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go under the wall here, hoping it will jump Gareth Evans. He's got 13 goals already this season. Here comes Evans. Oh, he's hit the crossbar. What an effort from Gareth Evans. Goalkeeper beaten all ends up, and Sunderland are saved by the frame of the goal.
Well, there's absolutely no chance with that, McLaughlin. I mean, an inch lower and that's in. What a superb strike, to be fair. Great technique. And if you just look, the two Portsmouth players just lent to push the wall slightly one side, just to give it a clearer run at goal. But fantastic technique from the free kick. So unlucky.
Portsmouth have got a corner. Gareth Evans into the penalty area. Clark trying to get something on it, and there's a chance here for Bogle. Couldn't quite scramble it home. It was cleared on the line. I think in the end it will be another corner.
That's great defending by Young Dunn, I think. As the ball drops to Bogle, I think it's Young Dunn that throws himself in the way, gets something on it. That's what they're going to have to do now, so they're going to have to put the bodies on the line to stop this Portsmouth side equalising. Evans with the ball into the penalty area again. Burgess climbs at the far post, bounces off him and away for a goal kick. That Sunderland change, by the way, it wasn't O'Nien who went off, it was Lyndon Gooch. Both wearing white boots, hence the confusion. Didn't see the assistant's board, but that is the change. We've played 27 minutes in the second half. Sunderland with the 10 men, leading by a goal to nil. The volley from Maguire. I think I'm just looking at the lineup now, they're just going with a 4-4-1 Sunderland, so they've definitely got the two banks of four. And it looks like Maguire that's popped up on the left. And it also means that Ozturk will miss the second leg, of course, at Fratton Park on Thursday night through suspension. Well, that'd be a problem for Sunderland because he's been a mainstay, to be fair, along with Flanagan. Adam Matthews is the other defender on their bench. Here is Burgess for Portsmouth, who you would expect now to have the lion's share of possession for the final 20 minutes or so. Well, this is a real opportunity now for Portsmouth. And to be fair, Kenny Jackett, he's recognised that. He's made his sub straight away. He's gone with two up top. He's looking to force the issue. We should mention at this point that away goals don't count double in the playoffs, but it would be such a carrot for Portsmouth if they could return to Fratton Park. There's something on the board. Sunderland have got a goal kick here. It just bounces off Solomon Otterbor in the way. Solomon Otterbor coming on to make the 100th appearance of his career. We watched the replay of the free kick from Evans. It was right into the top corner. No chance for the keeper, and Pompey really unlucky. He actually struck it too well, if you can do such a thing. I think if he'd have just squiffed it a little bit, that might have gone in. 17 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0. Sunderland down to 10 men following the somewhat controversial straight red card shown to Alan Ozturk. And here is McGilvery in the green goalkeeping strip, who plays it long upfield for Portsmouth. Gareth Evans got the ball stuck under his feet, and Sunderland are coming forward. Brilliant run by Oviedo. He goes down on the edge of the penalty area. No free kick, says the referee. You can hear what the Sunderland faithful make of that decision. A real niggly end to the game here. Yeah, he's afraid he's having one, the referee, at this moment in time. It's the second time this season in their 4 meetings that Sunderland have finished the game against Portsmouth with 10 men. It's also the 5th red card in the last 5 matches between the two. And Sunderland fans
voicing their displeasure with referee Andy Woolmer.
Another great run from Clark at the back. He's almost popped up in a left wing position here. He's really taking the fight to Sunderland. The big centre half, he's a real leader for them.
How good could he be? Is he good enough to play in the Premier League? I think he's certainly good enough to play in the Championship.
Oh, he's definitely good enough for the next level. Again, it's just that dynamic at Premier League level, that turn of pace perhaps. But he's never got caught out in a foot race, like we said. I mean, he's just reading of the game, and his positional play has been outstanding tonight. He's really took the fight to Sunderland. Really composed competitor.
Certainly doesn't deserve to be on the losing side, Matt Clark, but his side are trailing by a goal to nil. And that goal from Maguire, the 100th that Sunderland have scored in all competitions this season. No mean feat. Can they hold on to the lead and take a precious advantage to Hampshire on Thursday night? You can hear that game live on Talksport 2. Ian Danter and David Connolly, who's played for both of these clubs, will be your commentary duo for that one. And the playoff action, of course, coming thick and fast over the next few days. What a fantastic time of the season it is. Did you have too many experiences of the playoffs?
Yeah, I played in the playoffs for Wigan. Got to the final at Wembley against Gillingham and got beat, and then played the playoffs for Watford against Blackburn. I actually played in the playoffs for Watford, drew both games, and went out on the away goal when it was away goals counting. We drew 1-1 at Vicarage Road on the away goal counting. We drew 0-0 at Ewood Park. Went out, didn't get beat.
Dangerous cross into the area from Anton Walks for Portsmouth. It's headed behind. They have another corner which Gareth Evans goes across to take in front of those Pompey fans high up in the fourth tier behind that goal. That's a really poor ball in though from Evans. It goes straight back out for a goal kick. Kenny Jackett will be frustrated at that.
He's got to do better than that, to be fair. He's got all the field to keep it in. And it was harder to do what he did actually, to kick it dead like that over the bar from the quadrant. But they just need to keep the composure here, Portsmouth, and start getting on the ball and use that extra man. Try and start moving Sunderland about the pitch and create little openings, because they put a real effort in, Sunderland, to get themselves in front. Now they're a man light. Psychologically that takes its toll. It's a real opportunity for Portsmouth.
And thanks for the flick on after McLaughlin had gone long with the goal kick. Probably clear it back into the Sunderland half, and it's side-footed out for a throw by Oviedo. That throw will be taken by Nathan Thompson. Over on the far touchline into Burgess on halfway for Portsmouth. And here is Clark again, who will step into the Sunderland half and again makes a positive run towards the area and then finds Solomon Ottobor. Clark has continued his run, but he's not that quick. And despite sliding, can't keep the ball in play, and it will be a goal kick for Sunderland.
It's a real buccaneering performance from Clark. That's the second time he's popped up in this left-hand side position. But they're still in this time, Portsmouth. You know, they don't need to win it today. I think they've got to look at the fact that it's a real close affair. As long as they can stop Sunderland scoring again, which is unlikely now, with them going down to 10 men, sets it up nicely for the second leg.
Yeah, it will be delicately poised, whatever happens in these final 13 minutes here on Talksport 2. I mentioned earlier, Portsmouth ended up fourth in the table, missed out on third by 1 goal. In 7 of the last 8 seasons, the team who finished fourth have gone on to reach the final. Could be a good omen. Here's a shot from distance though, and it was Maguire again, and it just shaved the base of the right-hand post. McGilvery not quite on his toes, and grateful, I think, to see the ball skip wide for a goal kick.
It just makes you wonder how Maguire didn't start with McGeady being out, because he's made a massive difference since he's come on. He's given him a real impetus going forward, scored a fantastic goal. Now he's hit the outside of the post.
I think the keeper was beaten.
Yeah.
Big let off for Portsmouth. They've had this man advantage, but find themselves a goal down at the Stadium of Light. Naylor for the team in blue finds close inside that Sunderland half. Need to get more supply into Omar Bogle. That's what Kenny Jackett will be relaying on the touchline. Here's Walks with the bright blonde hair. Showed too much of that to Honeyman now, and then Catamol steps in and wins his team a throw right in front of the Sunderland dugout. Then there was a little incident between a member of Jack Ross's backroom staff and Anton Walks.
I just looked at Lee Cattermole. He's definitely got his battle face on now. He's fighting and scrapping for every second ball. He's a real leader for Sunderland.
Honeyman was also in the face of Walks there. Referee just trying to calm things down. He's called over Walks. Not sure he did too much wrong, in fairness to the fullback for Portsmouth. He's just keen to get the ball back in play as quickly as possible. And it's in the arms of Luke O'Nien, the young player of the year for Sunderland. He goes forward to Charlie White, hoisted away by Naylor. Cattermole wins it back 10 yards inside the Portsmouth half, and then goes to Flanagan. It will just be a game of keep ball for Sunderland to try and get themselves over the winning line. The block from forward. Clark feels he was penalised by Charlie White. The decision goes the other way, and Sunderland have a free kick here in a really dangerous position, midway inside the Portsmouth half, and a chance if they want to load up that 18-yard box.
Yeah, and I bet they'll take the time with it as well, because it's a good chance to just wind the clock down a little bit. But another strange decision from the referee. For me, it looked like Clark had been fouled by Charlie White, but it's given the free kick to Sunderland.
Is this an opportunity for the team with 10 men to maybe snaffle a second goal? It will be Maguire, whose excellent volley separates the sides, who will take the free kick. Only one man in the Portsmouth wall, in the form of Solomon Ottobor. In goes Maguire towards the far post. Well defended by Burgess. Big shouts of handball from behind the goal, but not really from the players on the pitch. And then Solomon Ottobor has been pulled to the ground by Honeyman. Surely will be a yellow card. Clear obstruction from Honeyman. And a free kick for Portsmouth on the halfway line.
Oh, that's got to be in the card, surely. Yeah, they've called him over now. I think he just took one for the team there, because he looked a little bit light at the back there, Sunderland. Broke really well, Omar Bogan. We've not seen much of him since he's come on. We know what he's capable of in his time at other clubs, namely Grimsby, where he scored a lot of goals. But been passed about one or two other clubs as well, but he's definitely capable of upsetting a back four with his pace and power.
Here's Burgess with the free kick for Portsmouth. Clark forward, leaps in the air, and then it's headed forward towards the box by Close, but more red and white shirts back there than blue ones to attack it. Naylor rolls it forward to Thompson. Here is the tricky Solomon Ottobor into the penalty area it goes. Sunderland have only got it half away. Bogle trying to lift it goalwards, but straight into the arms of McLaughlin. And there's a Portsmouth player down inside that 18-yard box.
Yeah, it's just funny sometimes, Alex, how sendings off work. You know, you'd think that have Portsmouth coming in the ascendancy now, but it's almost giving Sunderland a cause. They've raised the game a little bit, they've got the crowd behind them. It's almost like they feel a slight injustice that they're having to play out the game with 10 men, but they've definitely got the advantage, and they're hanging on in there.
Bogle just couldn't quite get the ball out from under his feet to get enough of a loft on the shot. Gareth Evans, or Ben Close rather, as the Portsmouth player is being treated. We've played 38 minutes in this second half. And you're listening to Sunderland against Portsmouth on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Ben Close rather gingerly back to his feet, looks a bit groggy. He just took a bang on the jaw there.
I've been impressed with Ben Close tonight. I think both him and Tom Naylor have done well in midfield. They're very combative, kept the discipline well. And then the score was 0-0, and a lot of it was down to them and the two centre-backs, Burgess and Clark, that scoreline was intact.
If this first leg does end 1-0 to Sunderland as it stands at the moment, how confident will Kenny Jackett be that his side can overturn that deficit back at Fratton Park?
Oh, I think so, yeah. You know, I think that what they have seen tonight, Portsmouth, they've definitely seen the fragility that Sunderland do have, and it's how they expose that at Fratton Park. But they're showing a little bit of resilience towards the end of the game, Sunderland. So, like I said, it's almost like they've got a cause. They've had the man sent off in Trustley. perhaps in their feelings, but they've definitely battled or every man to the sword, if you like, and they're keeping themselves with a 1-0 lead, but still finally boys this game.
Here's close for Portsmouth. Burgess picks up possession 10 yards inside his own half of the field. He looks for Solomon Otterball with a diagonal pass. It's kept in play by the Birmingham loanee. And here is Walks now down the left hand side. Clark once again is high up the field for Portsmouth. It's been the story of this second half. And Naylor into close inside that centre circle. Time running out for Portsmouth to conjure an equaliser. Certainly no sign of panic from them yet. I have to say Sunderland have adapted well since the dismissal of Ozturk as well. It's cleared into touch by Oviedo for a Pompey throw.
Well, they're definitely not in any rush to come out of the two banks of four. Sunderland
goes into the penalty area. Jamal Lowe trying to make some room for the cross, but it's stabbed away by Maguire. What an impact he's made since coming off the bench.
There's been the difference, to be fair, between the two sides, because it's a real moment of quality, the volley that ended up in Portsmouth's net. Great technique.
Scored 3 goals in Portsmouth colours, Maguire, during a loan spell back in 2012. Here is Solomon Otterball for the visitors. Positive run towards the penalty area. He's won himself a corner off O'Nien. Gareth Evans will be hoping for a far better delivery from this one than the one that he put straight into the stands for a goal kick. It's from the opposite side this time, the near side as we look. Clark trying to make a run towards the far post. In comes the corner from Evans. McLaughlin punches it away. Good distance on that as well. Solomon Otterball hooks it back into the penalty area. Burgess has stayed forward, wouldn't quite fall for him. And it's collected by McLaughlin once again.
Yeah, he's been impressive tonight, John McLaughlin. He's done the bread and butter stuff really well. The simple things, but he's also been brave. A couple of good examples there when he's come in amongst bodies and made the right decision, punched the first one and then came and claimed the second. And he's definitely been a big contributor to Sunderland's clean sheet so far.
4 minutes to 90 remain. Sunderland with the 10 men, leading by a goal to nil. Scored by Maguire minutes after coming on. And here's McGilvery who bowls it out to Anton Walks. Pompey in a hurry to try and get themselves back on level terms. Walks switches the play out to Thompson, the opposite fullback. Matt Clark's almost taken up a position on the left wing. Solomon Otterball finds Clark. And Clark coming infield. For me, despite the fact he's on the losing side, he's been about the best player on the pitch, Clark. And here's Solomon Otterball. Sliding in was O'Nien. And the last touch off Solomon Otterball, so it will be a goal kick for Sunderland. They're edging closer, Neil Redfern, to this precious win.
Yeah, and every challenge and every tracking back that's been done by these Sunderland players is met with a real cheer from the Sunderland faithful. O'Nien this time doing the job on Otterball, but they've shown a real grit and determination and a will to be together and try and get over the line, Sunderland, since the sending off. It's definitely gone in their favour as a cause, but it's just that moment of magic from Maguire that's separating these two sides at this moment.
Goal kick launched long by McLaughlin, headed on by Charlie White. Out of play for a Portsmouth throw on the near side. Anton Walks again will take it. A little over 2 minutes remaining now. Sunderland still with this 1-0 lead. And the throw-in taken by Walks. It bounces off Omar Bogan and out for a throw. Exactly what Sunderland will be hoping for, just to keep the ball in the Portsmouth half of the field and run down the clock now here on Talksport 2. Sunderland, remember, have finished in the lowest league position in their history, 5th in League One. Halfway as it stands to a playoff final. Tell you what, there's been plenty of needle, isn't there, between the two sets of players, Clark and White, the latest to square up.
Yeah, there's definitely been no quarter given. And I think the fact that they've come across one another 4 times this season is definitely testament to that.
Feels like a grudge match at the moment, one in which Sunderland are coming out on top. White trying to hold the ball up on the edge of the penalty area, and he's won a foul. The meat in the sandwich between Clark and Naylor, and again dangerous territory for which Sunderland can put the ball into the penalty area should they desire.
It just shows the importance and how well Wyke has played, Charlie Wyke has played for Sunderland today, that you'd have thought at some point they might have seen Will Grigg. He's put a real shifting up there, the big man, but Jack Ross is stuck with the fella, and he's paid dividends. But they just need to see this final couple of minutes out, Sunderland, if they can.
I think we're about to see how many added minutes there will be at the end of the 90. The fourth official indicates there will be 5. That will be music to the ears of the Portsmouth fans away to our left. Here comes the free kick taken by Maguire towards the far post, but straight out for a goal kick. And McGilvery is having a race all the way to the far right hand corner because the Sunderland ball boys are not giving the ball back.
Yeah, all of a sudden there's a football shortage at Sunderland.
It was the opposite, wasn't it, in that Champions League game when the Liverpool ball boys were under instructions to get the ball on quickly because Barcelona have been known to switch off at set pieces, and of course Alexander-Arnold set up the winning goal.
Yeah, what a bit of opportunism as well.
Pompey need a bit of that opportunism as they win a free kick. Foul on Walks by Maguire. Didn't have the best of spells during that lone stint on the south coast. Looks like a man who's come on with a point to prove, Maguire. Sunderland fans trying to roar their team home here. Here is Jamal Lowe for Portsmouth, but foul had already been given against Burgess. It will be a free kick for Sunderland deep inside their own half of the field.
The irony of this is where Portsmouth wanted it to be scrappy when it was 0-0. It's now Sunderland that's wanted it to be scrappy to get over the line at 1-0 up with 10 men, and that's what's happening. They've done ever so well. They've run in there with 10 men. They've made it difficult for Portsmouth. They've not really shown any initiative to try and get themselves back in this game at 1-0, but I still think it's finely balanced. Still on a knife edge.
Much like all the player finals we've seen so far, no more than a goal between the teams in any of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that continued tomorrow when Charlton travel to Doncaster. Live here on Talksport 2. Charlton, many people's fancies to win these League One playoffs. Then Neil Redfern has a feeling that maybe Doncaster against the odds could go up. Much the outsider in the 4-horse race, certainly as far as the bookmakers are concerned. Sunderland trying to keep the ball in the Portsmouth half, and clumsy challenge by Omar Bogle in trying to win it back. And a free kick. And another chance, I think, for Sunderland just to try and pick out the corner flag. Oviedo it was who felt the feint as the pushes in the back and went down. And we've played 3 of the 5 added minutes.
We're in a good position now, Sunderland. We're in no rush to take this free kick whatsoever. There's 2 or 3 people had a look at it, then walked away just to kill a little bit more time, not committing too many men forward.
Maguire plays it out to the left-hand side, and Power, he wins a throw, just hammered the ball against Nathan Thompson and then walks away from the area where the throw will be taken. Well, some would call it time wasting. Well, we call it clever game management from Sunderland. I'm sure Portsmouth would do exactly the same if they were in the Black Cat situation. And you have to give them credit, Neil Redfern, for the way in which they've seemingly seen this game out, even with 10 men.
Well, you do, and I think you've got to give Jack Ross some credit as well, because I think the substitution was inspired for Maguire coming on. It's a real moment of quality, his goal. Fantastic technique to keep that down and get his body over it and strike it across Craig McGilvery into the back of the net, and it has been the difference between the two sides. They've almost been inseparable.
McGilvery plays it forward. Burgess makes his way towards the halfway lines, hangs up the cross towards the Sunderland penalty area. Walks try to help it on, cleared as far as close. We've got 60 seconds of added time remaining. Sunderland fans baying for the full-time whistle. Burgess with the ball into the area. And then that's a foul by Close on Oviedo. And I think, Neil Redfern, that will probably see Sunderland to the winning line.
Yeah, and really the outcome of a 1-0 win when you're down to 10 men is probably as good an outcome as you could have or could ask for Sunderland to take into the second leg at Portsmouth. But they've shown they can compete. Portsmouth has shown they can open Sunderland up, so I'm pretty sure we're in for a really interesting, intriguing game down at Fratton Park.
It is going to be a defeat that extends Pompey's winless run to 4 matches, only a second victory in 8 for Sunderland. It will be interesting to see just how much Jack Ross and his players celebrate the win at full time. They will know the job is very much only half done. The second leg live on Talksport 2 on Thursday night in front of a full house at Fratton Park. Sunderland fans are refusing to give the ball back to Pompey, who have a throw here. This is all a bit silly. They are just chucking the ball around amongst themselves. The referee's going to have to add on some time. Finally it comes back to Burgess.
Well, it doesn't actually help Sunderland, because what he'll do, he will add on time when he was probably just about to blow, to be honest with you.
Throw taken by Thompson. Bogle tries to bring it down on the chest, run back by Maguire, who just smashes it into the stand. And fitting that Maguire is the last player to touch the ball, because it was him who came up with the most crucial moment of the tie. A fantastic volley to give Sunderland the lead on 62 minutes. They had to hang on with 10 men after Ozturk was sent off. There's a bit of a flare-up after full-time here. Burgess and Wyke involved. Gareth Evans, the Pompey captain, just tried to calm it all down. Certainly no love lost between the two sides to take into the second leg at Fratton Park. The referee and his assistant also in there. White still putting his 2 penneth in, but this tie is not over, Neil Redfern.
No, not by a long chalk. And I think that where you've got the fervent atmosphere of the Sunderland fans here up at the stadium, you'll have exactly the same from the Portsmouth fans down at Fratton Park, and it plays a big part in it. You know, it really lifted Sunderland when they scored, got the noses in front. Like, fantastic strike from Maguire. And again, it'll be something that Sunderland are going to have to contend with down there. But you've got to give Sunderland great credit from this result tonight, because to go that length of time with 10 men with that goal in front, keep the score intact, is no mean feat.
So Pompey's woeful playoff record continues. Still no wins in this format for them in 5 attempts. It's a first ever semi-final defeat as a manager for Kenny Jackett, and the revenge mission for Sunderland after that Wembley defeat in the Checkatrade Trophy final is half complete. Maguire with the goal on 62 minutes, and despite finishing with 10 men, there was no way back for Portsmouth. It ends here at a fervent Stadium of Light. Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0.